As data centers become more streamlined, emerging technologies like software-defined networking are pushing IT to consider further improvements to infrastructure. Thanks to trends like cloud computing, big data, and software-defined networking, data centers are under unprecedented demand. And despite the rise in the use of off-premise IT infrastructure, the need to streamline and optimize on-premise data center infrastructure, well, it's stronger than ever. Hi, everybody. This is Jim Malone with IDG Communications. I'm here for Panduit. Welcome to this webcast where we'll take a look at how you can leverage a discipline called Data Center Infrastructure Management, or DCIM for short, to make sure your data center is ready for today's workloads. And to help you make some critical decisions about your data center, we have with us Brendan Dorey, Director of Intelligent Management Systems with Panduit. Brendan, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your role at Panduit and what's keeping you busy these days.
Hi, Jim, and thank you. I am responsible for the active solutions portion of our data center solutions stack, which includes optimization services, software, and hardware. This is a portion of the data center solutions stack which includes cabinets, connectivity, grounding, which is our offering into the data center white space. I'm currently busy with integrating our solution set into a combined offering. We have recently purchased cooling optimization capacity from SynapSense and power optimization capacity from our purchase of Unite Technologies. These capabilities will be combined with our existing asset and connectivity capabilities. We believe an integrated offering that provides actionable intelligence around power, space, cooling, and connectivity is an unmet need in the data center industry. This is validated by our recent assessment done by Gartner in the Gartner Critical Capabilities Assessment. We're going to talk more about that at the end of this discussion.
Great. Thanks, Brendan. Welcome. We're really happy you can be with us for this session. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. At any time during this on-demand webcast, you can get more information on the topic by clicking the green resource list icon on your screen. And if you have any questions for our speaker, Brendan, just use the Ask a Question section of your player, and we'll get an answer to you in a couple of business days. And with that, let's get started. Brendan, each year we take a look at the data center as part of our State of the Network study, fielded through Network World. And here are a couple of the summary findings from our most recent survey that have some relevance to what we're here to discuss today. First, organizations are preparing for changes driven by emerging technologies, and they're creating the ability to increase data center capacity by pooling resources. Next, organizations continuing to try to reduce costs, simplify, and improve efficiencies. And while some initiatives show progress, there's a lot more to be done. And as companies manage ever-increasing capacity demands driven by big data, they're looking to data center consolidation to reduce cost and complexities. Now, here's the challenge as we see it. Not every CIO or IT leader sees this disruption as a good thing or even as an opportunity. Our studies show that this quickly advancing technology landscape is seen as a threat by 1/3 of the respondents. Now, Brendan, you've got some timely advice and guidance for those folks, really for all IT leaders, who are rolling up their sleeves to get their organizations firing on all cylinders in this new environment. And Panduit's solution is centered on capacity management. So, Brendan, let's turn to you. What's going on here from your perspective?
Thank you, Jim. So Panduit sees capacity management and planning as one of the biggest issues in data center management. Infrastructures are more complex, demands on all resources and output are growing, and physical infrastructure efficiency is becoming more vital. Putting a management plan in place from the very start of your data center build operation is the best way to keep an important balance between the 4 vital physical infrastructure resources and work towards optimized operations. Once a data center is in operation, it's very common for it to fall out of balance over time due to organic growth and ad hoc decisions. Using the Tetris syndrome as an example, in which each shape represents a different data center resource, it's important to have awareness of your complete landscape and exactly how those shapes/resources should be utilized. Without this, each individual decision will carry forward an unbalanced, inefficient infrastructure and end up with wasted or stranded capacity. Carrying out changes and making decisions without full insight into the impact of asset placement, power consumption, heat dissipation, and network connectivity changes with respect to the whole data center can create an imbalance that can compromise the data center's overall resiliency and, in turn, its stability and uptime. The end result is typically a range of inefficiencies and increased costs. Symptoms of stranded capacity include hotspots where there is not enough cooling, or difficulty in deploying equipment due to inefficient rack space or connectivity and power. All four physical infrastructure elements need to be available. The worst-case scenario can be data center downtime. The data center will eventually come to the end of its life, having never used the full capacity built in at the design stage. These issues we've just discussed is a common problem in data centers and cause further operational problems. These operational issues lead to bigger business problems such as downtime and increased operational expense and capital expense spending. A common issue we hear is that new data centers are being built based on perception that physical infrastructure resources are spent and not on data that demonstrates that fact. So let's see how we can address our capacity issues for each of these resources and overall. Leveraging real-time infrastructure data and analytics provided by DCIM software helps maximize capacity utilization, whether it's a greenfield data center or an existing data center. And this can reduce fragmentation, saving the cost of retrofitting a data center or building a new one. Automating data collection via sensors and instrumentation throughout the data center generates a positive return on investment when combined with DCIM software to yield insights for better decision making. The power of DCIM is that it gives data center managers the visibility and intelligence they need to address challenges like fragmentation and stranded capacity. And as with all things, you can't manage what you don't measure. And in order to manage, data needs to be presented correctly. DCIM can provide actionable intelligence around enabling decisions that optimize the use of physical infrastructure resources. Taking a modular, step-by-step approach to obtaining manageable, actionable intelligence will help on the road to optimal capacity management and help gain a tangible ROI along the way. Managing each element of physical infrastructure individually is a good way to achieve capacity management in a stepwise manner. Understanding the deepest pain point and addressing it first enables a quick payback. For example, optimizing data center cooling can free up stranded cooling and power capacity. Once that occurs, optimizing space may be the next pain point. We have developed a methodology that enables the customer to get full physical infrastructure capacity management in a series of steps that provide tangible benefits at each step. So each resource of physical infrastructure, power, cooling, connectivity, and space, is important in its own right. But the ways in which they affect each other are very important to take into account. Being fully aware of and finding the balance between those four critical resources is the only way to ensure you'll have the right resources where you need them at the right time, with maximum utilization efficiency and no unpleasant surprises. Panduit's SmartZone software, hardware, and services solutions help you address your power and environmental challenges, asset tracking, connectivity monitoring, and security and remote access needs. SmartZone hardware enables effective data capture of power consumption, environmental conditions, asset status, and connectivity at different IT and facility domain points that can be consolidated, processed, and sent to software for monitor, display, and documentation. Access and control devices are available to help enable physical security to cabinets as well. SmartZone software monitors, displays, and documents real-time data from SmartZone monitoring devices or even some third-party meters to provide a comprehensive and granular understanding of your data center infrastructure throughout its life cycle and enable informed, accurate capacity management. Our SmartZone implementation services bring proven implementation strategies and best practices from previous engagements to make implementation of SmartZone solutions in the data center faster, easier, and more efficient. Panduit also offers advisory services that can support SmartZone customers, design services, and on-site audit and assessment, such as thermal assessment services that can identify and address hotspots and cooling issues while providing valuable cooling capacity information, helping to future-proof data centers against development of further thermal problems. So our assessment services, our optimization services, take advantage of the actionable intelligence and provide the customer with actions that can be done to reclaim some of the identified stranded capacity. So as we've said, data centers are designed with a finite amount of capacity deemed suitable for requirements and life cycle projections made assuming all capacity will be used. While the built-in capacity remains static throughout the data center life cycle, operational changes result in this capacity being used in less than optimal ways. And it can be very difficult to see where you may have gone wrong and how to change this and unlock the capacity that's lost. Also, once a data center is operational, it can be difficult to monitor how effectively capacity is being utilized and provisioned for the future. It can be especially difficult to know how you should continue provisioning resources and deploying assets in such a way that will be positive rather than detrimental to operations. SmartZone DCIM software leverages an automatically updated database of space, connectivity, power, and environmental data to aid in comprehensive capacity management and give the best visibility to improve capacity utilization and find the best fit for your assets. Panduit SmartZone DCIM software solutions help data center managers determine the best fit for capacity in their facilities. As a data center manager, you need to understand where the best places are to deploy assets, answering questions such as where do I have sufficient power, space, cooling, and connectivity to place these assets. Best Fit automates the provisioning process by determining the optimal placement location based on available resources. Panduit SmartZone DCIM software solutions help data center managers determine the best fit for capacity in their facilities. As a data center manager, you need to understand where the best places are to deploy assets, answering questions such as where do I have sufficient power, space, cooling, and connectivity to place these assets. Best Fit automates the provisioning process by determining the optimal placement location based on available resources. Those resources being space, power, connectivity, and cooling, as we've said on previous slides. So let's go into some real-life examples of the benefits of reclaiming stranded capacity and proper capacity management in general. One example in which Panduit has helped one of our clients reclaim stranded capacity is with Zen Internet. Panduit helped resolve issues through the application of SmartZone solutions by developing a sustainable, energy-efficient program across Zen's Internet data centers, introducing data center intelligence into its new greenfield data center, deploying of energy monitoring intelligence within its brownfield data centers. We provided measurement, management, and improvement of the power efficiency by measuring the power usage effectiveness and providing some optimization methodology around that measurement. Enablement of remote monitoring to provide Zen Internet's customers with the functionality to access the data via a web-based portal. Monitoring how much power its customers are using to avoid under and over provisioning. By understanding Zen's Internet challenges, Panduit was able to leverage a variety of SmartZone solutions to provide a holistic view of connectivity, power usage, and environmental parameters for Zen's Internet's data centers, co-location, and server hosting sites. These solutions were designed to immediately improve operational and energy efficiencies, achieve rapid and significant cost reductions, and improve overall facility performance with the intention of helping Zen Internet align with its corporate energy initiatives. Another example is with a Fortune 50 software company. With them, we developed a sustainable and actionable global energy efficiency program targeting their data centers and expanding to global facilities in North America, Europe, and Asia. We consolidated energy data collection activities globally within their facilities. We're able to achieve their target to reduce energy consumption and greenhouse gas emission by nearly 20%. SmartZone software provided the financial service company with global reporting, key metrics, and real-time monitoring and alerting across many of their different zones within the new and legacy data centers and extend to their enterprise facilities. Panduit was able to work with the financial service company to create and auto-populate an environmental evidence kit that utilizes SmartZone software actionable intelligence to automate greenhouse gas CO2 footprint to support mandatory and voluntary government reporting. Legacy data centers utilize SmartZone energy monitoring hardware solutions, which provides them a single monitoring platform. This methodology enables, in a stepwise fashion, to go from individual management of power, space, cooling, and asset or space, and to provide a holistic view which enables you to avoid the Tetris syndrome and enable reclaimed capacity. As a point of validation, Panduit has been fortunate to be included in a number of recent analyst activities and reports from Gartner, IDC, and others. A few of the highlights: Panduit was one of 17 DCIM vendors to make it into the first ever Magic Quadrant for data center infrastructure management tools within the Visionaries category. Highlights of the Gartner report include Panduit has always been focused on the physical infrastructure in data centers, enterprise, and industrial environments. Panduit's SmartZone DCIM offering is integrated to provide a consolidated view of data centers, which enables users to monitor multiple sites, and it can centralize IT and facility information to provide a holistic and drill-down view of each location. This year, Panduit was one of only 7 vendors chosen to participate in the Critical Capabilities Assessment, which included a panel of Gartner experts that tasked each vendor to actually live demonstration of the performance of their solutions to accomplish a long list of specific data center challenges. Within the use case ratings, Panduit scored number 1 for co-location use, number 3 for large enterprise use, and number 4 for mid-size enterprise use. Within the product and service ratings, Panduit scored number 1 on environmental monitoring, number 2 on reporting and visualization, number 2 on predictive analysis, modeling, and simulation, and number 3 on power, and number 3 on resource management. So highlights of the Gartner Critical Capabilities Report also include that as a point of differentiation, Panduit's SmartZone DCIM provides insight into the dependencies between data center assets, enabling data center managers to pinpoint issues in the power chain or better understand the widespread effect of potential hardware failures. Also, asset tracking, which includes tracking of alarms, is also a strong asset given the company's background in facilities management. And they also state that Panduit's SmartZone DCIM offers strong capacity planning features.
Thanks, Brendan. That's certainly good news from Gartner for Panduit. You know, we're getting close to the end of our time for this session, but Brendan, before we go, I wanted to give you a chance just to kind of summarize 1 or 2 key takeaways for listeners.
So a couple of takeaways are, number 1, DCIM is one element of solving the data center physical infrastructure capacity management issue. The solution is made up of optimization services, software, and hardware, but also passive physical infrastructure like cabinets and cabling and ground